Zihahahaha. Room. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me in today's review of One Piece Chapter 1081. Oda will not let up. Week after week, he's been delivering fire chapter after fire chapter. And once again, we will be on break next week, but this time it's due to Golden Week in Japan. It sucks that we've been going on so many breaks because the anticipation is killing me. But before I get into things, this week Luffy is on the cover of Shonen. And it seems like there's a cat theme because we have all these Shonen protagonists that are dressed up as cats. You have Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen and Midoriya from My Hero Academia at Luffy's side. And Luffy's dressed as a cat holding a fish. Instead of a cover story this week, we get a color spread, and this one's for the boys. We have all the dudes of the Straw Hat crew taking a nap with a bunch of squirrels, and the only one awake is Sanji reading a cooking book. But what is that? What does that say? Ooh. Anyways, there's a few different things going on at the same time right now. So while Luffy is on Egghead and all those shenanigans are happening, we have Kid getting defeated by Shanks. And then we also have the sword story taking place on Hachinosu. And then also at the same time that all this is happening, it's Law versus Blackbeard on Winter Island. So we got the conclusion, and I'm pretty sure all these things are happening at the same time. We got the conclusion to Kid's journey, and now I believe we have just been introduced to the end of Law's journey. But it's not as clear cut as Kid's defeat. Not yet anyways, but I'll get into that in a minute. We start the chapter off with exactly where we left off. Garp's ship is landing on Hachinosu, and he's actually upset that he didn't cause enough destruction. He kind of just looks around and says, damn, I really lost my touch. And you can see the pirates freaking out like, really, man? Really? That wasn't enough for you? The fuck? Garp's ship doesn't actually land on the town. It gets caught by Prince Gruse's clay, which I still think is a Logia because clay is like an earth element. It comes naturally from the earth. You can find it in like mountains and shit. Katakuri's mochi was a special paramecia because mochi is still man-made. It doesn't just naturally form on anything in this world. So I don't think Gruse's fruit would be a paramecia for that reason. But anyways, we see Kobe and Hibari running towards Garp, and all of a sudden in the middle of running, Hibari gets frozen solid. Honestly, sad as fuck. Hibari's character design was dope, and I hope this doesn't mean the end for her. After this, though, Kuzan comes out and says that it would look bad on him if Kobe escapes while Teach is away. And throughout the chapter, I'm getting weird vibes from Kuzan. I don't know if it's the shades, if it gives him like that extra oomph of mysterious. Also because the flashback we got of when Kuzan actually joined the Blackbeard crew. That's right, we got a flashback of when Kuzan joined the Blackbeard crew. So to start it off, there's like a panel that starts off with a certain island, which I don't know why it remains a certain island. It might have some sort of hidden meaning in the future, which is why Oda doesn't just tell us the name of it. But Teach is yelling at Kuzan because he froze half of his crew. You can see San Juan Wolf is frozen, Doc Q and Stronger. I think Vasco Shot is on the ground frozen, but Catalina Devon and Van Auger and a few more of the fodder are still like unfrozen. Teach walks into the bar and demands that Kuzan unfreeze his crew. Blackbeard started getting loud with Kuzan, and we'll probably see this in the anime. He must have started to like flex his Quake fruit because Kuzan warns him not to use it or he'll shatter his buddies. But anyways, he starts talking about like, oh, I'm sure you guys just heard about what happened. I was defeated or whatever. And he starts to get serious and he says, I'm pretty heartbroken right now. And guess who's to blame for my foul mood? And this could have a couple different meanings. At face value, you assume his foul mood might be because of Akainu. Especially because Kuzan begins to get chummy with the Blackbeard pirates and tells him what happened between him and Akainu. But what if low-key he's really blaming Blackbeard for bringing Ace in and creating this whole situation for him in the first place? But they're all joking around at the bar, pretty drunk now. Kuzan unfroze everyone and they're having a good time. And then Catalina Devon asks Blackbeard if he thinks that Kuzan might know about the guy marked by flames. Apparently the man marked by flames is rumored to have a road poneglyph. And seeing how Blackbeard's crew depicted the man marked by flames, I'm not really sure it's Saul from O'Hara anymore. Maybe Aokiji was covering for him a bit, but apparently the man marked by flames can be found at sea on a pitch black ship. But anytime anyone gets near him, they end up getting swallowed by a giant whirlpool. Shiryu says that he thinks that he's working for the government, that it would make sense for them to have at least one or two of the poneglyphs to prevent pirates from claiming the One Piece. And that does make a lot of sense. But Aokiji mentions that he never saw any red stones in O'Hara, so that kind of rules out Saul a little bit. And also, I don't think giants can use whirlpools. I mean, I guess it could be like a devil fruit or something, and it could have been eaten by Saul at some point. Dude, a whirlpool devil fruit would be so crazy. But I'm starting to think that the man marked by flames could be someone else. I mean, Saul isn't the only man in the world that got burned. Kuzan even thinks that they're referring to him as the man marked by flames because of the battle scars. Oda could have just been showing us Saul to mislead us. But anyways, after this, Lafitte thinks he's whispering, but he's telling Blackbeard that they should steal Aokiji's devil fruit. And Aokiji obviously hears them because they're being loud, and he gets pissed, and he literally tries to square up with the entire Blackbeard crew. They were shooketh. They were very shooketh. And that's when Blackbeard tells him to chill and tells him he actually wants him to join the crew now that he's decommissioned and out of a job. But Kuzan doesn't really give in that easy. He's a man with a sense of justice after all, and becoming a pirate does not fall in line with his beliefs. But then Teach kind of reveals something that's either been speculated on or just outright said in the story and I just don't remember. But his crew's dynamic is very similar to Luffy's. Each one of them has their own agendas, but they collectively work together and under Blackbeard to achieve their own dreams. And Blackbeard just pretty much makes Kuzan realize that he's a free man now and he can do whatever he wants. We then cut back to the present time with Garp yelling at Kuzan to unfreeze everyone and just put his uniform on. Basically, just stop fucking around. Kuzan declines and tells him, I'm doing shit my own way now. So he freezes Garp and tells him he's gonna have to kill his first protege to save his new one. I don't know. Is he like jealous or something? I think homie's jealous. Garp breaks out of the ice and punches the shit out of Kuzan with a move called Blue Hole. While he's in the air gaining momentum for his attack, he's yelling at Kuzan that only weaklings lose their way. Kuzan gets smashed, and that's the last that we see of him. We then cut to Blackbeard versus Law on Winter Island. Fuck. Blackbeard's all bruised and battered up, and then we get a panel of Law's hat on the floor. And another giant panel of the Polar Tang destroyed and sinking with the rest of Law's crew. Just like the Kid Pirates defeat, we get the narrator announcing that the Polar Tang is currently sinking to the ocean floor and is torn to pieces. Blackbeard straight destroyed their submarine, because without a ship, they can't call themselves pirates now, or even escape. And we see Law and Beppo just laid out on the floor, bleeding out. And he's telling Law that the owners of the 100 hearts that he stole at Rocky Port are living on Hachinosu, and they're going to be thrilled when Blackbeard brings Law's heart. And Oda is really taunting us here because Blackbeard says, what should I do with your fruit? Use it or sell it? Don't suppose you'd fancy making me immortal? But while Blackbeard is having his little evil monologue, Beppo is eating what I'm assuming is a rumble ball because we get a little bubble of Chopper saying to him, I can't guarantee it'll work. But then Beppo just goes into Sulong mode and turns into a badass polar bear. And I'm glad we finally get to see Beppo in his Sulong because we never got to see it before, and he's fucking crazy, fucking strong. He creates enough destruction to distract the Blackbeard pirates, and he swiftly grabs Law and dashes into the sea. And while Beppo is escaping, he tells Law, please, we've been through so much. We've overcome so much. Please don't die. And then we get the narrator again saying, on this day, the Heart Pirates led by Trafalgar D. Law were soundly defeated. And the chapter ends with the words, a humiliating retreat. So the Heart Pirates have been defeated, and Law is on death's doorstep. But I don't think he met the same fate as Kid. I honestly think the Kid Pirates are all dead. They might not be, but we didn't get a panel of someone on their crew going back to save them. And it doesn't mean that it didn't happen, but I think Law's crew is going to find a way to survive and come back into the story at one point. I don't think Kid's crew is coming back into the story. But the good thing is that it seems like Beppo and Law were actually able to get away, and Blackbeard won't be in the possession of Law or his devil fruit. And I also hope Kuzan isn't actually part of Blackbeard's crew, like at heart, and he's just like undercover, trying to get in good graces with the rest of the crew, because going up against and defeating the Marines might be a good way to prove that he isn't actually rogue, you know, quote unquote. But also, this could be where we see Kuzan's true colors. Crazy chapter once again. It's a shame we're going to be on another break, but it is what it is. Thanks for listening, guys. Please consider liking, subscribing, or commenting. I'd honestly love to hear your guys' thoughts on the chapter and just everything else going on One Piece right now. Anyways, peace!